Hello? Hello, sorry about this low quality video, but my other device was not working. So anyway, hello, this is Maggie Melisso, presenting my research poster for Dr. Villa's technical writing class. The date is May 8th, and this research poster is for the final exam of the class. Thank you. I'm going to just do a quick introduction of what the poster is and what the technical document I did was. I was in a group with Samara Robbins, and for our technical document, we decided on writing a grant, as neither of us had ever done that before, and we wanted to get experience with different types of writing. After researching different organizations that needed grant writers, both volunteer and paid even, we decided to collaborate with the Sierra Nevada Alliance, who were planning on completing the North Face grant to get the funds they needed to do a land restoration and environmental education project within the Bishop, California community. As this was a service learning project, I decided to do my poster on the benefits of service learning on the skill and career development of that student. I also mentioned a few benefits of service learning that benefit the organization itself as well as the students. Because Samara and I co-wrote a grant for the Sierra Nevada Alliance, I emphasized this type of service learning when it came to the introduction, benefits, and conclusion, although I did discuss service learning as a whole since it all intertwines. With all of that being said, let's get into the poster itself, shall we? And again, I apologize for this poor quality. Hopefully it comes out okay. As I'm also taking the professional document design class, I feel like I should just quickly go over a few of my design choices. I tried to keep everything as neat and professional as I could, so hopefully it is reflected in the poster itself. Sorry, I lost my place. Those examples that you provided in the final exam lecture were very helpful, Dr. Villa, so I thank you for including them. I chose a picture of the Sierra Nevada mountains for the background to make it a little more interesting to look at while also making sure the text was easy to read. Luckily, the mountains have snow on them for a good chunk of the year, so I was able to get a picture that was mostly white so that I could use bold black text. I also separated the sections into text boxes and turned down the opacity so that someone would be able to read the text and also not have a bunch of boxes with a random color and still know what sections were which. I also put little black arrows to direct readers from section to section, so hopefully that was helpful. Now we'll really get into the heart of the presentation and discuss what service learning itself is. According to Vanderbilt University Director of the Center for Teaching, Joe Bandy, service learning, which is also known as community engagement, combines community service with student learning goals. In other words, service learning not only helps students develop personal and professional skills, but also allows students to give back to the community and contribute to the betterment of the world, in the grand scheme of things, at least, as service learning projects could be something as simple as creating a brochure for a local business or helping a company improve their website. Service learning doesn't just help students earn academic credit. Their projects have the potential to contribute to real-world change. That's why I think it has the potential to be a lot more impactful than traditional learning, like in a classroom. Obviously, you need to build a foundation for this type of learning in class, but once you have it, you're doing a disservice by not putting it into practice in your own life. At least that's my own opinion. Grant writing is only one of the many types of service learning projects that a student could do. There's also, website building, how-to manuals, brochures, etc., as well as looking at professional technical systems as well. But I will try to focus, to narrow the focus to just what our project was. Now I will discuss my methodology or research methods that I used to collect my information and service learning benefits. And just as a quick side note, as I've already used the term service learning a lot in this presentation, I may occasionally also use community engagement. It's the same thing, but I just wanted you to be aware of what I'm talking about just to avoid confusion. Anyway, back to my methodology. For this poster, I looked at a lot of university and college websites to see what they had to say about this type of learning. The University of Minnesota, Vanderbilt University, and Riverside Community College had a lot to say about the subject, about the benefits of community engagement, and they were used as sources on the poster. I also looked at an older study that Dr. Linda Sachs of the University of Nebraska, Omaha did on undergrad students that highlight some of the benefits. In addition, I took a look at some syllabi from different professors of various classes just to see what they had to say about it. I did look at various classes in various majors, but I tried to choose classes that put an emphasis on service learning or community engagement in their curriculum. I ended up not using any of these to get actual sourced information from, just because they were all very overwhelming, and most of them didn't really have anything to do with grant writing. But I did find it interesting and helpful to see what endgame goals these professors had for their students, and I was curious to see what projects they were working on too. A grant writing article from the Human Services Guide was also looked at and used to compare the benefits of grant writing with service learning. Now I'll move on to the results. In other words, what benefits did I find? And, was it what I was expecting? While I used benefits that I found from my sources, I also used ones that I personally felt were some of the more important things that I gained or learned how to do with my own technical document. Now, as I mentioned before, service learning helps students develop their skills and can be helpful towards their future careers. One of the most important benefits, in my opinion, is that students gain real-world, hands-on experience for their careers later on, regardless of what field they're in. Instead of simply sitting in a classroom, reading from a textbook, and pairing off with other students, they're able to put all the things they learned to the test. They have an organization looking over their shoulder and making sure everything is done how they want it, since the project is supposed to be benefiting them anyway, which I think is really important to have, someone actually in the field, a professional's opinion, rather than simply what you learn in school. The organization also gains additional human resources that they may not have had before to help them. Writing a grant for service learning also requires a lot of verbal and written communication, as I figured out. I already had an idea of that, but I didn't realize how much of it was required. Students are also able to network with professionals, which gives them an advantage during their job search. And I included a graph in my poster to illustrate the relationship between reflection, service, and learning that highlights some of the additional benefits that I didn't talk about here. So was it what I expected? Yes and no. I sort of knew what some of the benefits were, but I did find a couple that I hadn't really thought about before. So to close this presentation out, service learning or community engagement provides real-world skills that students need. And honestly, the fields of technical writing and professional and digital media writing needs employees like that. They need people that are well-rounded and used to working with professionals. These fields require a lot of understanding between groups of people that you can't really get from being just in a classroom or surrounded by other students that don't really know what they're doing. Grant writing in particular is a great way for students to give back to a cause that they support while networking with professionals. So I hope that everything that you listened to was helpful, and I hope that this comes out okay. My device is going to cut me off in a second, so thank you.